Thanksgiving evening, and we are tracking the coldest air of the season so far coming into North Georgia. Good evening to M11 Alive weather impact meteorologist Melissa Nord. This weather impact alert, you see it here in the red color. This is covering Saturday morning. The timing of that is between about 3 and 9 in the morning for our first freeze of the season in Atlanta. This is not unusual for us this time of year. In fact, we averaged about November 16th for the first freeze of the season in the city. So we're a little bit later than normal, also a little later than last year. But in advance of this cold, think about how you're going to dress this weekend for the cold and how you're going to protect your house. Maybe you have some sensitive plants that are still outside, maybe an herb garden still going. You can cover this up with a sheet the next couple of nights, bring any potted plants inside the garage. That will protect those. Also, if you got an irrigation system, turn that off for the next few nights while we get into this cold Arctic air mass. And also if you have any outdoor running water lines, you know, those pipes that might be exposed and really vulnerable to freezing up when we get any kind of big cold snap, those you can also turn the water off, drain the water through those pipes, and just prepare for the cold coming in. I don't think this is going to be a cold setup where we're dealing with widespread pipe bursting cold by any stretch of the imagination, but with lows in the city down into the upper 20s by early next week, and some of those mountain counties maybe getting down close to 20, something we gotta watch out for, right? All right, so here's the temperature trend. We had mild air today. We reached 67 degrees this morning. That cold air started moving in this afternoon. It's really settling in Friday, then it lasts through Saturday, through Sunday, through Monday, even into Tuesday of next week as well. We still have this cold air around. So while we have this in place, our high temperatures are going to run more than 10 degrees below normal. Our low temperatures are going to be running on average about 10 to maybe 13, 14 degrees colder than normal. So a lot of cold coming in. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Weather impact alert, that's going to be for Saturday morning. We are tracking the first freeze of this season here in Atlanta. And big picture, mornings are going to be cold. Afternoons are going to be chilly, but even though we have this cold weather moving in, it doesn't mean cold equals wintry weather. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you spin it, we're not going to have any precipitation moving in during this extended cold stretch. So it will be cold, but we're not talking about the threat of snow or ice or freezing rain or anything like that. Here's the temperatures the next 5 days. They're going down, okay? We just had a lovely stretch in the 60s the last several days. We were even milder than that at the start of the week. But tomorrow, we're not going to get above 50 here in Atlanta, so we'll be right on the edge of it. Couple spots south and east of town may make it to the low 50s. Saturday again, low 50s for highs. That's a solid 10 degrees below average. Sunday, maybe 52, but then another shot of colder air coming back in here again to start a new work week, and that'll drop our high temperatures into the 40s for Monday and also for Tuesday. You see that here on our temperature trend for the high temperatures. Now, let's talk about forecast track hour by hour. And this will show you how things are going to play out throughout our Friday and the weekend. And what you'll notice starting off overnight tonight through tomorrow morning is still some of that pesky cloud cover. We had this during the day today. So we had our cold front brought showers, storms first thing this morning. That cleared out, but that cloud cover didn't exit the area yet. We're still going to be with it first thing tomorrow morning, and for that reason, this is going to save how cold some of our temperatures are going to get. If we have the skies clearing overnight tonight, some of these lows will get even colder for Black Friday shopping first thing tomorrow morning. But about 36 or so, the low in Atlanta. Colder up in North Georgia, where I do expect mainly clear skies. You can see some lower 30s and mid 30s there up in North Georgia and in the mountains, but close to 40 degrees south of I-20, and that's because that cloud cover acts like a blanket insulating the heating from the day. Not that we got that warm, but that limits how much of that heat from the day can escape the atmosphere. So a little bit of cloud cover first thing tomorrow morning down in southern Georgia. That's going to thin out as we get into lunchtime, and then sunshine breaks out for the afternoon. Despite that, it's a chilly one out there. Notice a lot of these numbers at 4 o'clock. On our Friday, Black Friday shopping out there, 40s, maybe around 50 for some of us. You notice Friday at 4 o'clock. Out in Athens, 50 degrees. So if you're heading out there along 316 to Athens for the big in-state rivalry game, there will be sunshine, but it'll be chilly out there for that. As we get into tomorrow night, the numbers drop very quickly from those 50s and 40s down into the 30s again by 10 o'clock at night. So cold air moving in. And then for Saturday morning, that's when we're expecting our first freeze of the season here in Atlanta. So low right around 30, I think, Saturday morning in Atlanta. Some 20s in the North Georgia mountains. Just enough of a light wind to add a wind chill effect, but also just enough of a light wind to where I don't think we're going to be dealing with a widespread frost issue on Saturday morning. However, by Sunday, if those winds do turn a little bit lighter in the overnight, we might be dealing with a little bit of frost out there. So you can see Saturday sunshine, just chilly out there in the afternoon. We'll start off Black Friday morning, low of 36 in Atlanta. You notice outlying the city, colder spots. OK, so this is very typical for us. Inside the city, we have a lot of concrete, asphalt buildings. All of that kind of re-emits the heat at night, and it keeps us very warmer, much warmer inside the city than the outlying suburbs. We see this each and every day. OK, that's why with all this development in the city, we have a hard time setting record low temperatures. It's just because, yeah, it may be like record cold in the suburbs, but we just have so much infrastructure in the city, the skyscrapers, the buildings, the asphalt, the concrete, not as many trees, that we just don't reach our potential cold in the center of the city. So about 36 in the city. Notice North Georgia mountains tomorrow morning. Upper 20s to right around 30 degrees. The wind chill, though, will be dropping. We're going to keep this northwest wind in effect through the overnight. It's not windy, it's just enough of a wind to cause a wind chill effect. So we'll start off with those wind chills, upper 20s here in the metro area. North Georgia mountains, mid-20s first thing on Friday morning, and then those numbers will rebound into the afternoon into the 40s. Okay, we'll see our high temperature in Atlanta right around 50 in the afternoon. You see that little bit of cloud cover, though, on our day planner for Friday. We will start with some clouds in the morning, and those clouds may be kind of stubborn for longer down south of I-20, where the cloud cover, you're closer to the front, closer to the moisture. That's where the clouds are going to take longer to clear out. But by the afternoon, we should break into sunshine, and that'll take us up to around 50 degrees for the high temperature on Friday. So about 50 here in Atlanta. We're going to see some of those numbers in northeast Georgia. A lot colder than that, low and mid 40s, very cold day up in the mountains. Good day for a fire in the fireplace. And then if you're out to tailgate in Athens, it is going to be a cold one. I had to make this graphic in two colors, okay? I'm a tech girl, but there's a lot of dog fans. And I just thought for all the divided households out there, we'll make it in two colors. It's kind of hard to see the yellow on the graphic, so I'll go to the red and the black one here on the monitor, so it's a little bit easier to see. But if you are heading out there to Athens to tailgate, or if you're going to be out there for the game in general, you got to dress in lots of layers tomorrow evening. The temperatures will be dropping as the game's getting underway. The wind chills will be dropping as well. So you might feel like you only need, a moderate jacket for tailgating in the afternoon with temperatures around 50. But once the sun sets, we get closer to game time and beyond, those wind chills, what it's going to feel like on your exposed skin, those are going to be dropping from the mid 30s into the upper 20s as the game is going on. So I want you to know, it may not feel that bad tailgating, but the sun's going to set around 5:30 tomorrow night. You got 2 hours before the game starts. You'll start to feel it dropping off, how chilly it'll be. And you notice here, we get into game time. This is 5 o'clock for tailgating. Sun's still up, 48 degrees. Kickoffs at 7:30, 41. Wind chill at that point, 34. And then as the game's going on, rounding out about 35, that temperature and the wind chill about 28 as the game is wrapping up. It is going to be a cold one out there, very cold one out there at Sanford Stadium. Forecast track, these are the wind chills showing you that 34 at kickoff tomorrow evening. If you're out doing Black Friday shopping or maybe date night here in Atlanta on this long holiday weekend, wind chills in the city will also be tomorrow evening down into the low and mid 30s. Notice the mountains, though, up in Blairsville, up in Dahlonega, it's going to be in the 20s tomorrow evening. The wind chill already at 7:30. We'll push that forecast track out with our wind chills to 11 o'clock at night. If you're still out or if you're finishing up at the game, 28 the wind chill in Athens, 28 in Atlanta, 20 in Blairsville at that point. Saturday morning, that's when we have our weather impact alert for the first freeze of the season. Just enough of a light wind to make the wind chill down to the mid 20s in the city. And even, I think, a couple of upper teens showing up in the North Georgia mountains. So really cold air out there, and that cold feeling outside, is going to be a trend for the next, say, 5 or so mornings. Lows will be down in the 30s, some mornings in the 20s. The wind chills colder than that each and every morning, probably in the upper 20s. This graphic shows you the trend of the next 5 days. You see tomorrow morning's low 36. We go down to 30 for Saturday, wind chill 23. 32 Sunday, wind chill 28, so not as much of a wind, but then we get into next week, Monday and Tuesday, another reinforcing push of cold air coming in. That'll drop the temperature to the upper 20s and the wind chill for the bus stop. On Monday morning, kids are going back to school. That wind chill is going to be around 25 degrees, so it will be cold out there. Now, meanwhile, if you're traveling after the Thanksgiving holiday, we do have some showers pushing across the Florida Peninsula. Pretty quiet weather Friday across the central part of the country. Also the West Coast, pretty quiet weather. But where there is active weather getting underway, you may not see it on this big picture map, but the Great Lakes. There is a huge lake effect snow event that's getting underway tonight, lasting through Friday, through Saturday, through Sunday. And what happens is we have the cold Arctic air going over the warmer waters of Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, and the other Great Lakes. And it's the fetch, the amount the length that wind is going across those waters that helps to feed these lake effect bands. So these set up shop, and sometimes they can snow at rates of like 2 to 4 inches per hour. I mean, really impressive snowfall rates. And I'm telling you this because if you have loved ones that are traveling, right? They're either flying in or out of Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, or they're driving. Maybe they're driving along I-90 or I-81 here in New York. There's a potential that some of these interstates could shut down because of how intense some of those lake effect snow bands will be. How much snow are we talking? Well, through the end of the weekend, start of next week, you see in this green color, I've actually highlighted a couple of those areas, one along I-81 south of Watertown, the other of which, this is Buffalo right here, driving through kind of Fredonia to Erie, Pennsylvania, northeast side of Ohio, northeast of Cleveland. We're talking about some of these lake effect snow amounts in excess of 3 feet. In fact, the National Weather Service office in Buffalo, New York, I mean, impressive snow through Monday. They're predicting in some areas up here 3 to 5 feet, about 3 to 4 feet here along I-90. And it's going to be the south side of Buffalo that ends up getting snowfall totals between now and maybe game time Sunday night. That's a Sunday night football game. The Buffalo Bills right here on 11 Alive. They could see about 2 feet of snow. So a lot of snow coming there. Now, as we get the forecast track out to Saturday for traveling, still pretty quiet for much of the country. The trouble spot is, again, going to be that lake effect snow. You notice here, big picture, there might be a couple little rain showers off the east coast as well, but it's really lake effect snow. And then one more little clipper system coming in, dropping a very quick shot of some light snow through kind of the Corn Belt over into the Ohio Valley and over into the Appalachian Mountains as well. So a little bit of snow there. And then I also want to show you Sunday's big picture. Still lake effect snow, still quiet in the middle part of the country. And then West Coast also still looks quiet. So cold weather here, but the biggest problems in terms of travel are likely going to be where that snow is ongoing. Now, I did show you the snowfall totals out there. I also want to show you, for those of you who might have family, loved ones near Western Michigan, Lansing or something like that, you can also see we've got some pretty, Grand Rapids rather, some pretty good snowfall totals there, and the UP of Michigan, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. By the way, we've got on 11 Alive right now, Green Bay Packers playing. Chance of snow showers tonight, and the wind chill for that game on 11 Alive in the teens. That's a fun one to be standing outside in. So snow potential there, and then here's the amount of snow that we're looking at for that little clipper system that'll come through, drop a little bit of snow there, St. Louis over into Kentucky, and then higher snow amounts along the Appalachian Mountains. So we're tracking that over the weekend, the chance of snow, but otherwise quiet weather here in the southeast and plenty of cold moving in as well. So again, just to recap, for your Friday, Colder than it was today, breezy as well. We're looking at high temperatures around 50, wind chills in the morning, upper 20s, and then wind chills during game time tomorrow evening out in Athens. Also going to be running in the 20s by the ending of the game. I'll show you our weather impact alert again. We're tracking our first freeze of the season in Atlanta Saturday morning. We average about November 16th for that first freeze, so we're a little bit later than average. Not the latest ever, but we are forecasting Saturday morning temperature of about 30 in Atlanta. So prepare for the cold Saturday, but it'll be near freezing Sunday and then below freezing again for sure Monday and Tuesday of next week. So that is the latest. We'll have more on 11 Live News at 11 o'clock tonight, right after football. I call it Sunday Night Football, but it's not a Sunday. So Thanksgiving, Thursday night football here on 11 Alive. We'll see you at 11:30 or so. And there's more on 11alive.com, more about what those feels like temperatures, the wind chills will be throughout the remainder of the holiday weekend.